Funny story. So one of the nights I actually went to Nyon for this nannies and au pairs evening, and it was a Swedish night, and all I can remember is eating lots of biscuits and lots of Swedish words that were like a sentence in length. All of us went to the pub afterwards, but it threw it down with rain and I got absolutely soaked. And I got drop time at midnight, and you know when your jeans are like really, really heavy and soaking wet, you know, hopefully no one's gonna wake up when I walk in the door. And then the door didn't open. Hey guys, it's Ellie here. You probably haven't seen me before unless you have an association with Au Pair World, where you may have seen me on their Instagram a few times. Today I'm taking over the APOP YouTube channel, and I'm really excited about it because, you know, I've been a huge fan of the girls for ages now and watching all their videos on au pair tips, and I'm really happy to be here to share some of mine with you. I'm going to be talking about how to make friends in a small town. So the first thing I will say to you guys about making friends, if possible, get in touch with your host family's current or previous au pairs before you go, and ask them about their friends and if their friends are still going to be there when they leave, and if you can meet up with them. And also get them to tell you about how they made friends and how they went about it in the first place, which groups they joined, who they spoke to, and various other things. That really helped me in the early stages. It kind of made me feel a bit more like in a community. Number 2 is joining Facebook groups. Now, when I was preparing to go overseas, I was in touch with my host family's initial au pair, their very first au pair, and she told me about the Facebook groups that she'd joined, and on there I was constantly seeing chats between girls that were living in different areas or closer to me, and places that I could get to. So that was a really good help in just, even if I didn't necessarily meet up with them, it was just to see what was going on and kind of open the door for opportunity if I decided that actually I was ready to go further afield. At the time I didn't have a smartphone. I don't know what I would do without it now. Another one about making friends, I think, is participating. And I don't mean going out necessarily, but I mean when you are out, or when a conversation is happening online, or someone's got an Instagram account that all of you follow and really love the content for, engage in the conversation. Again, I wasn't a massive social media person when I was an au pair. I kind of just used Facebook on my laptop. But when I was on there, I was engaging in conversation as much as I could, making my face kind of known to people so that when I did turn up, they knew who I was. Number 3, you're talking to people at the school gates, when you're picking up your host kids from school or taking them in the morning. If your language is good for the host country that you're in, or if you kind of overhear your language being spoken somewhere else, go and have a chat to people, or like kind of eavesdrop a little bit and kind of find a reason to start talking to them. Start a conversation about something small. Showcase that you're a little bit new to the area. Things like, where can I find this? Where do I go for that? Where's the bus stop? All those sorts of things are great openers for conversations with people you haven't met before, and they might be able to direct you to someone else that has an au pair locally. Number 4, get a SIM card for your phone ASAP. I think it's really useful to be able to text people, because, you know, you can't always rely on Wi-Fi and data. So it's good to have a phone to be able to text people without it costing tons and tons of money. I have a little bit of a story. So when I did first choose to go out and meet some new people for the very first time, my host mum dropped me at the tram station on the border of Geneva, and she told me to take the tram so far and then swap over. But I hadn't done that for so long, and it was a bit scary, and I didn't really have a sense of where I was going at all. And like I said, I didn't have a smartphone at that time, so, you know, Google mapping stuff wasn't really an option for me, and getting lost was. So I really don't know what the world did before Google Maps. I eventually found the cafe after going the wrong direction twice, and walked in 30 or 45 minutes late, and the group of girls that I was supposed to be meeting, I had no idea if they were even there, because there were so many groups in there that I had no clue which one I was supposed to go and sit with, because, you know, obviously Facebook on my phone wasn't really very speedy. I couldn't check the pictures of all the girls, and I didn't know their names off by heart, so I was kind of like, I have no idea what's going on. I was just thinking, I don't want to, you know, go and disrupt a random conversation if it's not the right group, so I backed off. There were various ways I could have dealt with that situation, but I decided to walk the other way. But be brave. Say yes to things. Just go and see what happens. Even if you don't end up meeting people that day, although that's now kind of impossible because of the amount of social media channels we can use to keep in touch. Just say yes, just go. Number 5. All right, traveling further afield. This one I definitely recommend, especially if you're in a small town like I was. Definitely going to say from the start, be prepared to kind of branch out and find people either through the grapevine or on social media, or through chatting to neighbours, or to asking your host parents if their colleagues have au pairs or know of anyone that has au pairs. When you find out events that are happening in other parts of the city, or other cities completely, if you're able to kind of find out about them and know, for example, in Geneva, the Geneva Nannies and Au Pairs group, there was an event once a month in a place called Nyon. So one of the nights I actually went to Nyon. It was a Swedish night. All of us went to the pub afterwards, but it threw it down with rain and I got absolutely soaked. And then I got dropped home at midnight, and when your jeans are like really, really heavy and soaking wet, I was like, oh God, hopefully no one's going to wake up when I walk in the door. And then the door didn't open. I put the key in the door and I was locked out. My host parents had left the key on the inside of the door, and I couldn't get in. I had to wake up my host dad I thought to myself, do I knock really loudly and hope he doesn't like flip out? Do I ring the bell? Do I ring him? Do I text him? And in the end I just thought, nah, screw it, I'll text him. And I was just like, oh God, they're gonna get rid of me. And he turns up on the door and he opens it and he's like in a dressing gown, like, hello, okay. And I was just like, I'm just gonna go to bed. I didn't even have a shower. I just like took all my wet clothes off and just jumped into bed. Don't recommend doing that, and thankfully my host parents were really, really good sports about it. But what I'm saying out of that is you've got to remember that you are a young adult, and if you are as responsible as you can be, if you're in a safe space and people are encouraging you to join in, you've got to give yourself some slack and actually just dive in with those experiences. Number 6, figure out where the pubs and cafes are that lots of people hang out at, and then maybe make a suggestion. I remember on the Facebook group that I was at, people were just making events all the time, even if they didn't even know anyone. I'd often see events popping up saying pub night, and then it would just be a date and a time, and people could just click interested or going or whatever it was at that stage. Those events took off quite quickly because a lot of people are in the same boat. You've just got to say yes to stuff. As soon as you meet people, just find one person, because it starts small. This is the thing about small towns. Everything will feel small to start with. You have to be the one to kind of push yourself out there a bit. If you don't ask, you don't get, right? You'll probably find that someone knows someone that has got one. And you're all in the same boat then, and you can kind of make friends purely because you have that common ground of being an au pair in a small town. Number 7, connect with your au pair agency. Connect with the people that run that agency or that website, because they will have a lot of people that have local knowledge, and they're also, if they don't have local knowledge of that particular town, they can make social media posts and blogs and things about those areas to kind of reach out to others that might be living there, or host families that might have an au pair that is also looking for friends, and they can connect you. So don't be afraid to talk to them as well. 8, if you've got a host family that you think would be alright with you having friends over, maybe just invite your friends over for a coffee or lunch or dinner or something, and if your host parents are okay with it, maybe you could even ask about a sleepover. You never know if people still do sleepovers. But that's a great way to connect as well, and just keep it feeling like you're still at home, keeping it normal. I was an au pair in 2013 in a small village in the east of France on the border of Geneva, and I was there for about 4 months. My relationship with my host family was awesome, and we're still in touch now, and they live in America, so I've actually been to New York to visit them. And in 2018 I actually wrote a book about my experience with them, and the book is called The Big Sister Project. It's not a how-to guide, it's anecdotes of like short stories in each chapter about particular things that happened, and it kind of just showcases the growth that I experienced as an au pair. It covers language barriers, personal issues, funny stuff like really hilarious moments, really sad moments, times where I was really questioning who I was and what I was doing, things I learned as an au pair. If you're interested in connecting with me further, I'd love to hear from you. I'm always doing new projects and stuff. I just want to do a really quick shout out to Edwina and Hanna. Thank you so much for having me on your YouTube channel, and I really hope we can collaborate again. I love watching all of your stuff, and I love reading through responses as well, because it's, we're all in this together. Even 7 years later, I still feel really connected to the au pair life. And through my social media channels, I'm always talking to other au pairs elsewhere and helping them decide what to do and how to navigate their time. Make sure you subscribe to the APOP YouTube channel and follow APOP on Instagram for all their updates as well. If you'd like to follow me on YouTube as well, I've recently, only last year, started a YouTube channel, and you'll be able to see some videos that I've actually filmed with kids. So thanks guys. If you have any questions or tips or relevant information about making friends in a small town, I hope I've kind of covered most of it. This is again from my experience. Things I did or would do now if I was in a small town. But really at the end of the day, wherever you are, making friends is going to be something that you have to kind of put yourself out there to do, because unless your host parents know someone and can introduce you, often it will be a case of you either going on social media or talking to previous au pairs, or just talking to people. It's as simple as that, no matter where you are. Small town guys, I got you back. Thank you again, APOP, and the girls there, and everyone else for watching this. See you soon. Tom, can you stop playing guitar? Hi guys, it's Ellie here. I'm